Yeah, okay. This is not how I wanted to end Halloween, I'm gonna be honest. Bride of Chucky is really not how I wanted to end Halloween, but I miscalculated Halloween by a couple of days. I thought there was more screams and I thought there was more, Final Destinations, so unfortunately my math was incorrect. And again, I also thought there was more Saw movies, so that did leave me with two open slots at the end of Halloween. So we took a look at Chucky yesterday. We're taking a look at Bride of Chucky today. Unfortunately, this is how the cookie crumbles, and this is the grand final to our horror, to our spooky month horror bonanza that we were doing on the channel. And yeah, it's quite a underwhelming finish. I will be honest. We started off extremely strong. We went through quite a few good horror movies. We started off extremely well, and it all came crashing fucking down, I'm going to be honest. Because, yeah, we're taking a look at the Bride of Chucky today. So, without any further delay, let's take a look at what Google has to say about Bride of Chucky. It is a 1998 horror comedy, which is 1 hour and 29 minutes. Has a 5.6 out of 10 on IMDb and a 4.4 out of 5 on Amazon. Has a 47% on Rotten Tomatoes. You can watch it on YouTube, Google, Sky Store, and Amazon Prime. Chucky and Tiffany, two possessed dolls, head to New Jersey to look for the former amulet that can help them regain their human form. So, how the story works is Tiffany, the ex of the dude who got turned into the doll at the first movie, does some voodoo sorcery shit and brings Chucky back to life. Chucky is then pissed that he's still a doll and decides to kill Tiffany in an argument in a little spat and turns her into a doll. So now that they're both dolls, and now they want to get to New Jersey to find an amulet to turn them both back into humans, because obviously you wouldn't want to live as a doll, even though living as a doll technically means you're immortal in some aspects. I don't know realistically how Chucky, biology works, but yeah, they end up hitchhiking through a load of different vans, and unsuspectingly, these two people don't know their cargo's alive. So they get into a couple of little shenanigans, they start fighting, start arguing, and then the two in the van driving their living cargo kills both of them. They both die at the end. They kill them, and yeah, Chucky and Tiffany are both dead. That's the movie. That is the whole movie. I'm gonna be honest, it was more of a comedy than a horror. There is very little horror elements to this movie. They try and get you with some jump scares. They try and get you with some, strategic horror movie camera angles where they show a lot of background, show that something could happen, where they open doors and guess what, Chucky's there, but he's not. And again, it's more comedy because the villain likes to yap. I'm going to be honest, the whole villain, the whole monster, and the whole living doll thing likes to yap. Chucky and Tiffany have a very good dynamic, which I do quite like. This is still a good movie. I'm just saying it's a bad horror movie. I like their dynamic. I think it's quite fun. I think it's interesting with how they're arguing with each other, how they were former lovers, learning to love each other again throughout this road trip before eventually arguing at the end and leading to their own demise. Again, it's that circular, storytelling where they're arguing at the start, arguing at the end. Chucky kills Tiffany, and same shit happens at the end where they kill each other and they go on to continue their lives. And, with Chucky looking like he does, he just looks ugly, I'm gonna be honest, he's a little fucking runt. He doesn't look too good. Tiffany looks decent, I'm gonna be honest, I like Tiffany's doll design, I think it's quite funny. And again, we have two dolls this time, so it shows that if it can happen once, it can happen again. And to be fair, I do kind of want to get myself a Chucky and Tiffany doll. I think that would be quite cool. When I was younger, I did mention this in my last video, I was terrified of dolls because they did remind me of Chucky. And hey, you never know, if I do get myself a Chucky doll, maybe I will still be terrified of it because it's fucking weird. Chucky isn't terrifying in any aspect of the word, he's just funny, he has some great comedic timing, he's some great comedic lines, and you know what, I'll say it, I am childish with my humor, a couple of fart jokes, a couple of dick jokes, a couple of fuck jokes, swear word jokes like Has Been Hotel, is my kind of humor. I do think that shit's funny. I do and can understand intellectual humor and some higher grade humor, but sticking the middle finger up at somebody, especially a doll doing that in such an aggressive way, will never not be funny to me. This image is such a good reaction image, and I'm pretty sure I've sent it as a reaction image quite a few times, because it is funny. It is just funny. And Yeah, that's literally it. There is no horror element to this movie. It's just a couple bickering on their journey across the US of the A to find an amulet. So there's a little bit of mystery here, a little bit of magic and mystery, but other than that, it's not got a lot to offer. It's not the most interesting movie. They do spend most of it sat in the van, fighting each other and pretending to be dolls, like Toy Story type shit. When the owners come back, you stop moving and freeze, and that's got to be annoying. To be fair, that's got to be a little bit pissy. I would be annoyed if I had to keep freezing and stopping every time. But the CGI animation puppeteering of these two little shits is actually quite good. I'm going to be honest. The mouth movements and the body movements actually works quite well for these two. I actually like that. I think that's actually really interesting and really cool how they did it. Because again, back in 1998, CGI and stuff like that wasn't brilliant, wasn't perfect, was still very iffy. So the puppeteering here is actually some of the best I've seen. If not from Star Wars or like obviously the Muppets and Sesame Street. But even with Sesame Street and the Muppets, you can actually still see the string, and that's part of like the charm of them. With Star Wars and with Chucky, they don't want you to see the string. They don't want you to see it as puppets. They want you to see it as like an actual living doll or like an actual alien. So trying to hide the string and doing it in like creative ways that makes it look like they're actually moving and actually running around is really cool. And I really enjoyed this one. I thought this was really sick. Like, genuinely, I thought it was fun. And I had a good time watching this. It might not have been the most spectacular, interesting, like, bloodthirsty horror that I've seen. There is a little bit of blood and gore, not as much as, like, what there is nowadays in horror movies, but it is still a little bloody, and a little gruesome, and a little gory, with, everything that does go on in this movie, but it's just a road trip movie. Like most of Chucky's movies are like generic like movie ideas, like a road trip or like two characters have a child and like a family rom-com type thing. That's what Chucky kind of is. It's putting a horror character or like a scary character. It's not even a horror character at this point. It's more of like a jokey character. It's more like a satire character, kind of like One Punch Man. That's how I see Chucky. He isn't like a horror character as such anymore. They've taken his idea and made him into this like really jokey play on the horror like franchise, and that's just what he is now. He's just a joke character. He has made it into Dead by Daylight, and if you do want me to get the Chucky character, I will. I'll play as Chucky for Dead by Daylight, because I do think it's funny as fuck, running around as a little bastard. Because, again, he's faster than most characters, I do believe, because of his size, but he's also smaller, so he's harder to see. Which, again, I do think is quite amusing, quite funny, quite... I don't know. When I first saw his announcement trailer, I was confused, being like, how the fuck is Chucky going to make it into Dead by Daylight? But they did it quite well, I'm going to be honest, and he is funny to just watch run about. I don't see him too often in public matches, but the two times that I have seen him, they were great matches. They were great, funny matches. I don't really have much else to say about this movie. There's nothing that really stood out to me about this movie. It was just quite funny, had me giggling at points, literally ruffling, laughing my ass off, and, having a little bit of a lull, laughing out loud. It did get me to have a little few nose breaths as well, where it's like, because I thought it was slightly amusing. Again, like I said, it isn't grade A comedy, it is very bottom of the barrel comedy, but it is done in a way which does make it quite funny and interesting to watch. And again, it's dolls. It's like dolls. It's kind of like Toy Story. You wouldn't expect to find toys and dolls in situations like this. And with a grown man's personality, like a pretty bad man's personality, in a doll, it's just literally grounds for comedic timing and just grounds for comedic potential. That's all I see with Chucky. Just comedic potential. And that's all he's been whittled down to over the movies and series that he's had over the years. Because they have tried to revive Chucky twice now. I do believe he's had 2 shows on like HBO Max. So, there's been potential over the past couple of past couple of years for Chucky to have a revival, but I don't think it's gone too well. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. So, Bride of Chucky, nothing too special. I'm quite disappointed that we ended Halloween of 2025 on Bride of Chucky, but hopefully next Halloween we'll have a couple of other movies to take a look at, a couple of other horrors to give us actual scares. But yeah, we're here now, so don't have really much else to say. I'm going to give it a solid 7 out of 10. It's not terrible, it's not brilliant, it's watchable, and I probably would never watch it again. So you know what, I'm going to lower it down to a 6. It's just above mid, in my opinion. So, yeah. Other than that, if you want me to review any of the movies, TV shows, or animes, do let me know down in the comments below, because I will review them when I can. Again, I have a backlog of like 2-3 months of content, so I can, you know, get around to it eventually. But yeah, really upset Halloween ended on Bride of Chucky. This is not how I planned it. This is not how I wanted it to go. I wanted it to end on Final Destination, the new one. But the cookie crumbled wrong. Right, the cookie crumbled wrong. My math was off, and I got a 4 in math, so I'm not surprised. So, you know what, I'm done yapping. I've yapped for long enough. I know you didn't order this much of a yappuccino, but I'll see you in the next one. Come back tomorrow, because tomorrow we're back to regular scheduled movies and TV shows. It's not going to be any spooky horror-y stuff for a while, I don't think. So, yeah. See you then.